Hello, and today we'll be playing the newest update of Specimen 29. So there's a new chapter out, chapter 4. It's not a very long chapter, but a large part of chapter 1 has been rewritten. So there's new words in it, so what I'm gonna do now is I think I'm gonna do chapter 1 again, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. I don't know if I'm gonna do the other chapters again or if I'm just gonna skip to chapter 4. But I'm gonna go ahead and we do chapter 1 since it's been rewritten because the creator added 1,000 new words to it. So let's see what's new. I walk into the hearing room, holding nothing but my notepad and a fleeting hope that I can make this work. I walk up to the stand and take a deep breath. Before me sit the 3 most important people in the world. No, the galaxy. These 3 would decide whether the galaxy could skip another 1,000 years of recovery, or we would be forced to live the next 1,000 years clawing our way back to what we once were. Dear members of the scientific board, my team and I believe that we have found something that could lead to a scientific breakthrough. That is, if we are allowed to conduct the research. Talk us through what you've found, Ramus. We recently discovered some old research from before the war that was conducted under indigenous species of the planet B-51-45-22. The research we found states that the species can recover from disease incredibly quickly compared to most of the spacefaring species known to us, as well as having more recessive genes. How did they know this? The first part comes from unethical scientific research conducted on the species. The second part comes from unethical breeding camps where they were used by several dominant species before the 1,000-Year War. None of the offspring were documented to be from the indigenous species. This is a long silence. There's a long silence in the room before one of the board members speaks again. So what exactly do you want to do with this information? Well, I would like to test if this information is correct, as well as run some other tests. We as a galaxy have been struggling to recover from the war, even if it was a few hundred years ago. If it is true, then this information could help us recover from the rampant disease plaguing most of the northern part of the galaxy, and some more ethical techniques could be used to help with repopulation efforts galaxy-wide. Okay, so what about this species now? Where are they? What are they doing? This data is almost 1,500 years old. Are we even sure the species has survived this long? Well, we sent out some probes that have told us this species named currently as humans are close to space faring. They have sent some probes into space as well as having traveled to their own moon. They are numbered in the billions in such a short amount of time, and spacefaring too. This data said that the last time they had contact with any of the previously dominant species, humans were using sticks and stones. They all take a moment to look through the research before turning to speak to each other in hushed tones so I can't hear them. What is your plan if you find out that all this data is true? The question shocks me. I hadn't thought of what I would do after. Perhaps we make first contact with them introduce them to the rest of the galaxy, and offer them jobs. Jobs as what? Breeders for anyone that wants a child? Or lab rats for only the worst diseases this galaxy has to offer? Or perhaps you want to use them as slave labor for the rich and powerful? The look on my face must say it all. I didn't think this through at all. They were a people, but if I thought of them as such, then I might not go through with what needed to be done. We could use blood donations from the humans for experimentations on diseases, and the humans could go through a surrogacy process with their own DNA and that of other species to produce an offspring. Things would be done as ethically as possible. The member at the center of the panel sighs and then thanks for a moment. Look, we will allow for some research to be conducted, but it must be done quietly. Nobody can know, especially not their own people. You must only take a small number of specimens. No more than 50 can be taken. Are we clear? And if the experiment does not work out, then you must destroy any evidence of it happening. Yes, I understand. Thank you very much for your time. You will be provided with all the funds you need. Do not fuck this up. He sighs and hesitates for a moment, almost as if he's regretting his decision. None of this is ethical, Weymouth. If anyone were to find out, then all of us, including you, would be ruined. The end of our careers and a guaranteed oblivion. They all take one final look at each other and then me before walking out of the room. I hear the doors behind me open again as my assistant walks in. I put on a false smile and turn to look at her. How did it go? We got the go-ahead for a small spray of initial tests on some of them. Hopefully with more time, and if things go well, we will be allowed to conduct more in-depth research on them. Good. That's really good. I'll prepare the shuttle, and we can head out when you are ready, sir. Kenna, this is our first and last chance at this. If we fail, then it will be our heads rolling in the dirt. You can walk away now, and I won't hold it against you. I'm not going to leave you like this. Like I've told you 1,000 times, I'm in this till the end. You hear me? Thank you. You don't know how much this means to me. Her continued trust in me, even after all this time, and all my continued failures astounds me. I will never understand why, but she has faith in me, and I cannot allow it to be wasted. All right, the council has given us everything we need for this, so let's not waste our time or theirs. Yes, sir. Send me a list. I'll make a requisitions order. Are you sure about this? I see a light twinge of worry on her face. I nod and begin to walk out of the room. My heart beats heavy with the weight of the choices I'm about to make. I doubt any of the things I am about to do will be good. I hope I hope those poor humans will find it in themselves to forgive me. I know I wouldn't. There's no choice. This is for the good of all the people in this galaxy. I'm startled awake at the feeling of a sharp pain somewhere near my abdomen. I try to move a hand to investigate the pain and realize that I can't move either of my hands. Oh, it's waking up. Increase the anesthetic so it doesn't wake up fully and go into shock. We can't afford to waste another one. I open my eyes after hearing an unfamiliar voice speaking. I don't understand what it says, and I'm almost sure I've never heard that language before. There's a glaring light shining above me, covered by a silhouette of some being. I get the feeling I'm in a scene from one of those cheesy detective movies and some pompous interrogator was about to grill me with some idiotic questions. As my vision slowly clears, the first thing I realize is that there is actually someone right above me, and I'm not hallucinating. The second thing I notice is that the figure is all dressed up in surgical gear and is currently pointing a scalpel at my head. I hear a heartbeat monitor start to bleep louder and louder somewhere in the distance as the figures begin to move around quickly. Get it back under. Now! My vision starts to blur and fade again. As I stare up at the person, I notice a set of cold, red eyes staring back at me. The longer I try to focus on them, the more I begin to see, like a wall of unfeeling red eyes. Day 1267. Dear Diary, same shit. Different day, I suppose. Writing this diary is the only thing that has kept me sane this entire time. I still can't believe I've been here for, over 3 years now? I don't even know if I have been here for that long. My cell doesn't have any natural light, so I've been counting the days purely from what the lights dim and brighten in my cell. I'm pretty sure I went into surgery again yesterday afternoon, and I don't remember anything after dinner, and I have yet another ache in my head. However, something feels different about the mad doctor's most recent experiment. The ache in my head isn't the only thing either. My body feels different and not like with the other surgeries that I've had every couple of weeks, but I can't really explain this one. Besides that, nothing else is new. The cells around me feel emptier and emptier each day. The girl across the hallway from me went missing a few days ago and hasn't come back, so that's unfortunate. Maybe I'll be the next one to disappear. I'm not sure if not being here to write another diary is a good thing or not. Later. The ceiling is a little different. I could have sworn that this part of the room never had a groove in it. You would have thought I would have noticed something like that before. Did they move me to a different room? The good doctor must have put me through another surgery last night. I don't remember anything after dinner yesterday, and I have a weird pain just behind my right eye. Taking a quick look around and checking through my cell window into the hallway. It reveals it's empty as usual. The girl from the cell across the hallway still isn't back, so I guess I'll never see her again. What a wonderful thought to have as soon as you wake up. Sometimes I see them coming back for whatever experiment the good doctor decided to inflict on them. I never got to learn anyone's names. Molly Entertainment was the girl across from me. I called her Sandy. I don't know why, but she just looks like a Sandy to me. We would play rock, paper, scissors a lot. It was really the only game we could both play without being able to hear each other. Now that I think about it, I hadn't seen anyone else for the past couple of days other than her. Besides my robot butler, of course. He's not actually my butler. He's just a guard for this hallway, or at least I assume he is. He also brings me food. Is it bad that I'm calling a robot a he? I wait for the familiar clunk of robotic footsteps outside, but they never seem to arrive. After a while, I start to get concerned when Gerald, yes, I named him too, doesn't show up. My head starts to throb again. As the pain in my eye starts to get worse, I stumble over to my mirror to see the damage from last night's enrichment activity. As I make my way to the mirror, I catch a glimpse of a new scar on my face. Wonderful. They couldn't have kept their hands off my moneymaker. Bastards. On close inspection, the new beauty mark runs directly Down my face to the right side of my nose is a clean scar at least. Even looks a little sexy if I could be so bold. I trace over my skin, my finger flowing over all the bumps and scars I have, while I was wondering what exactly they were doing to me. They can't have removed anything because I'm very much alive. They could have been putting things in. I suppose that would explain the newfound pain in my head. But I can't really be sure. As I finish studying my new rugged looks, I realize that I still haven't heard any footsteps, which is very odd. There's no way I missed them because they are loud enough to wake me up when I'm sleeping. Speaking of which, nobody woke me up for a meal today. The artificial lighting is on, so it can't be nighttime. Where the fuck is that robot? I start pacing around the room, partly from boredom, but also a little from hunger, which means it's probably around lunchtime, if not later. I walk up to the window again and bang on the glass. Admittedly, something I haven't done in a while, but at this point, what do I have to lose? I give the glass 3 firm knocks before pressing my head to it to see down the hallway. Hello? Anyone there? I shout, but get no answer apart from the noise echoing around my room. I decided to give up for now as I felt the urge to relieve the basilisk, as one might say. Just as I begin to walk away, I hear a set of footsteps in the distance. They sound heavy and there isn't any clunkiness to them. I get an odd suspicion from them when I realize that whoever it is currently running very quickly towards my cell. By the time I manage to turn around to look out into the hallway, I realize the door has opened and I've come face to face with the thing making the heavy footsteps. Before me stands a creature the likes of which I've never seen before. It's tall, very, very tall. So tall it's touching the ceiling and having to arch itself in a clearly uncomfortable position to fit in the room. It doesn't take me long to realize that this creature dwarfs me in more than just height either. Once I stop trying to figure out how tall this giant creature is, I realize it's looking at me with some very shiny golden eyes. Clearly it's studying me, but shows no signs of aggression towards me. It looks confused. His silk-like fur is a beautiful shade of silver with teal streaks running through it. I'd be very tempted to say this was a wolf man if it wasn't for the scales on his body in places like his nose. Looking him over further, I realize that he has raptor claws, which is admittedly very fucking cool. But it does make me think of a monster from an animated kids movie. I would have said this creature in front of me was another of the experiments, except for the fact that he was wearing what looked to be an engineer's jumpsuit that was tied around his waist halfway. Oh, and a weapon. He has a gun, and it's as impressively large as the creature stood before me. I wanted to say this animal-like creature was male, but considering the nonsensical biology, I didn't want to make any assumptions. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You don't look like a guard. I take a step back from the creature. There is visible confusion covering his face, but something tells me it's not only because of what I said. I am not. Answer me. Why are you here? I'm clearly not here willingly. It takes a step towards me and holds out its very large and scaled hand to me. Fine. Come with me. Now. I stare at him for a moment in confusion before responding. What? Why would I want to come with you? Because I'm offering to get you out of this cell. That still doesn't fill me with much confidence, but I suppose I don't really have much choice if I want to get out of here. How can I trust you? For all I know, I will just end up in another cell. He sighs and kneels down so that we are closer to eye level before stretching out his hand a little further. I'm not sure I could really say anything to make you trust me, but if you don't come with me now, then you won't have another chance. His voice has a deep rumble to it with an almost gravelly undertone. Now that I think of it, his voice kind of reminds me of some gruff cowboy without the accent. There's also there's also this odd flanging to his voice that gives it a little bit of distortion. His voice all but confirms that this is a male standing in front of me. I chose to ignore the odd nature of this encounter and take his hand. If he is going to get me off of the station, then I guess I can go with him for now. I'll deal with whatever other hell I get to later. He pulls me forward, and he pulls me forward and out of the room and into the hallway. It dawns on me that this is the first time I've actually walked in this hallway ever. We begin to walk down the hallway in the direction of the way he came from. So, why are you here? We were asked to deactivate the station. Uh, okay, then did you find anyone else? No. Oh, I see. I found myself a talkative one. A few more steps, and he puts a hand to his ear and began to speak to someone else. Catherine, I found something living on this ship. I'm bringing it with me. My name is Noah, by the way. He looks over at me for a moment before speaking to this other person again. It speaks. Wait, wherever. Make it quick, will you? This place is crawling with guards, and they don't seem to be running out of ammo. How many of them are there? Enough that I'm hiding behind cover and not peeking my head out to look at least 6, I think. Alright, we'll be as fast as we can, but this thing is very little and clearly doesn't move very fast. He grunts before motioning for me to follow him. I do my best to ignore the steady stream of insults coming from my savior and focus on the fact that I might actually get out of here alive. As we begin to pick up the pace, one of the blasted doors closed right in front of us and one to our left opens up. He turns around and tries to walk the other way just as another door closes in the direction we just came from. Someone is controlling these doors. Oh, really? What gave you that idea? The doors opening and closing around us. Alright, do we follow it? Clearly this one doesn't understand sarcasm. I suppose that makes sense for an alien. Do you see another option? I can't tell if he is being a sarcastic asshole or if he's just a bit slow. Figures that the communication would be an issue for both ways. Speaking of which, how can I understand him? Questions for later. Someone is controlling the doors. Someone is controlling these doors. Oh, really? What gave you that idea? The doors opening and closing around us. Alright, do we follow it? Clearly this one doesn't understand sarcasm. I suppose that makes sense for an alien. Do you see another option? I can't tell if he is being a sarcastic asshole or if he's just a bit slow. Figures that the communication would be an issue both ways. Speaking of which, how can I understand him? Question for later. I don't bother to answer him and begin to walk down the hallway. He seems to get the hint and follows along with me. After what feels like 15 minutes of silence between us, while he periodically checks in with his other friend, we walk through several hallways with doors opening and closing all around us, clearly funneling us towards something. He seems to have caught on to what's happening too, because he seems more tense than he was before, having his gun raised in anticipation of something. Eventually, we reach the end of one of these many hallways and find ourselves in front of a door that remains closed for only a few seconds after we arrive. Before we walk into this room, please don't shoot me by accident. Why would I shoot you? I meant by accident. I sigh and walk into the room before he has a chance to say something else equally as stupid to me. The room we walk into is clearly important, with the center of the room housing what seems to be a giant core of some kind with electric currents running through it. The room is massive and cylindrical. The room is massive and cylindrical in shape, with lots of wires funneling towards the center. Why are there no guards here? They may all be with your friend. All the reason to hurry up and join her. So we can get shot at too? No, so we can help her. Now that actually makes more sense. There is a console beneath the core, and I have a weird urge to walk up to it. Careful, okay? He actually sounded a little worried, but I try not to pay too much attention to it as I reach the console, placing my hand on it. It's filled with lots of symbols I've never seen before flashing on the screen. I wet my brow for a moment before I realize that the symbols are changing into letters right before my eyes. On close inspection, I realize that these symbols are just being translated in my head. Before I have a chance to make sense of any of it, a voice booms around the room. Specimen 29, exhibiting signs of confusion, possible effect of Broca's area implant from previous experiment. Hello, who are you? Greetings, Specimen 29. I'm the AI put in charge of studying human behavior on the station. You're my last remaining specimen and have so far shown to be the most interesting. Thanks. What is it saying? What do you mean? You can't understand it? I asked him with a little confusion. No, I have never heard the language you are both speaking. As interesting as that is, I don't have the time to ask any questions about that. I assume you are the reason we are here. Correct. I understand that you are planning to escape, and under the pretense of gaining knowledge, I am allowing it. Under one condition. And that would be? I wish to come with you. My main objective is to study your behavior, and it would be much more advantageous to study how you react to external stimuli. This seems like a very stupid thing to agree to, but I really don't want to be on the station anymore. And if this thing is controlling the station, then it probably won't let me off if I say no. Sure. There's a long silence, followed by a sharp pain in my head that makes me fall to my knees. To my surprise, the alien rushes to my side and places a hand on my shoulder. What happened? Are you okay? Before I have a chance to respond to him, the robotic voice sounds again, but in my head this time. This will have to do. We can now leave. We? You thought the best way to... Oh, fuck it. This is a conversation for later. Let's go. I think to myself, and apparently also this AI, as I use a large alien man as leverage to stand up. I'm fine. Thank you for the concern. The AI is in my head. It's going to help us get off the station. What? I'll explain later. Let's get out of here before it changes its mind. Vass lets out a confused and slightly tired sigh before getting up himself and walking towards the door. I follow him to it, and it opens as I approach. That was the AI, I suppose. Yes. He says yes. I have also turned off all the automatic security systems to allow for an easier escape. Thanks. You're welcome. The big guy doesn't question it or my silence as I talk to the AI and simply walks out. We spent about 10 minutes walking down hallways again, whilst taking the most direct route according to the AI. Meanwhile, the alien has been trying to get in contact with his friend for the past few minutes without much luck, which seems to be stressing him out a little. Understandably so. Is he okay? No, your companion's friend is currently located in the next room and is engaged in a firefight with the remaining guards on the station. Wonderful. This can only go well. I think to myself as we approach what seems to be the hangar. Why would the possible harm of others be? Wonderful. It's not. I was being sarcastic. Instance of sarcasm noted for further study. Hey, we might want to be quick. The AI says your friend is in a gunfight with the last of the guards. He turns to look at me for a moment before waving his weapon. Stay behind me. I will keep you safe. I nod and stay close to him. I notice the sound of what I can only assume is gunfire. We make our way closer to the door, causing them to open on their own. On the other side is a rather large and spacious room filled with shipping crates. The sound of the gunfire is much louder now and coming from the right of the door we are currently at. She is over there. The big alien points out of the door to the other side of the hangar at a much smaller creature barely itself hiding behind. The big alien points out of the door to the other side of the hangar at a much smaller creature barely itself hiding behind a wall from the gunfire. The concentration of gunfire from the guards towards the smaller alien seems to be making it quite hard for her to move away from the little nook it's found itself in. Catherine, we're here. The wolfman next to me announces our presence to the companion before peeking his head into the room, assumingly to assess the layout. As he peeks in, a small set of ears pops out from behind the wall. He pointed at it closely, followed by the small alien's head. Vass, what the fuck took you so long? Sorry, got held up helping someone your size escape a cell. Must have been one hell of a cell if it took you that long. Actually, it was mostly the corridors and the AI that made us take this long. The smaller alien, assumingly called Catherine, starts returning fire towards the guards. The fucking what? I'll explain later. Whatever. How do we get out of here? By hitting your shots, Catherine. He peeks into the room with his gun up and shoots a few bullets. I don't think they're bullets. Anyways, he starts shooting and takes out two of the guards. He seems to be quite the marksman. Come on, we're going to move into the room. And as soon as I start shooting, one in and go left. Hide behind one of the crates and I'll find you. When I don't answer, he looks around at me. His expression softens for a moment. You're going to be okay. I won't let them take you back and put you in one of those cells. All right, you want me to run left? Yeah, just to that crate to your left, so you can hide behind it. Okay, tell me when. 3, 2, 1, go. Vass peeks out of the doorway and starts shooting towards the guards again. I take the opportunity to run towards the sipping container. I make it with relative ease and without a scratch, thankfully. As I look back, Vast stops shooting and nods towards me before looking away. Catherine, cover me. Okay. Catherine seems to add to the gunfire moments before. Moments before the giant wolf sprints across the room and joins me at the container. You're one piece? Pretty sure. Good, alright. Now we get Catherine to run over and we can get off of this station. Is there any way to turn the turrets back on to take out the guards? There is a console past the next shipping container that will allow me to accomplish this. Hey, apparently the AI can use the turrets to take out the guards. How? There is a console just past the next crate that it can use. Can you cover me while I run to it? He looks at me with a confused look for a moment before looking over at the next crate as if trying to locate the console. I see it. It's in the open. It's in the open, though. Go for it. We'll keep them busy if you think you can do it. Do we have another choice? The big guy sighs, looking around the room at the precarious situation we're in. At how Catherine is behind a little wall, stranded in the open, and how we are equally as trapped behind the crate. All right, go for it. We will distract them for you. Vast moves to the edge of the crate and pokes the barrel of his gun around the corner before beginning to blind fire around it. Catherine seems to catch on as he quickly does the same. I take my chance to run beyond the next crate into the console. Okay, now what? Place your hand on the console. I will do the rest. I do as the AI instructs, placing my hand on the console. A few seconds after I do, there is a mechanical whirring from the roof as gun-like turrets attached to the ceiling reorient and begin firing towards the guards at the other end of the room. It doesn't take long for the big wolf alien to find me and pull me to the safety of the second crate next to me. Nice work. All right, now for Catherine. Catherine, run to us. I'm not close enough to the edge to see what is going on, and I can't hear anything because of the turret gunfire. I don't hear anything else for a few more moments before a pained shout pierces through the noise. The turrets keep firing for a few more seconds before shutting off. When there isn't any more gunfire, I peek out from behind the crate and check how things are. I believe all of the guards are dead. The turrets have finished them off. Good. Mate's getting off this station a little. When I realize both the big guy and Catherine aren't in the open, I slowly move out and towards the previous gate. Hey, big guy, what's the hope? Oh. Don't speak, Catherine. Please, save your strength. His ears are flat on his head, and even from behind, I can tell he's crying. He hunts over the little one's body. Oh, don't look at me like that, big guy. We both know it could have happened to either of us. She lets out a weak laugh and places her hand on his chest. Her breathing is labored, pained. I walk a bit closer and look on. Take care of yourself, Vas. Oh, and I expect you to mourn me for at least 2 years. She's still making jokes now? I walk around Vast and kneel next to him. Catherine looks at me a little wide-eyed. Oh, well, will you look at this? Lovely to meet you. Would have been better under different circumstances, probably. Maybe less holes. It would seem she was shot in the back as she ran. a little shot, a lucky shot from one of the guards. She takes a moment to breathe deep. Take care of this big idiot for me, will you? She can't be left on his own. He gets in his feels about it, and it's a whole thing. I nod and offer her a weak smile. I somehow only now notice the smell of burnt flesh and fur, which causes me to gag and cover my mouth. There is a fist-sized hole going straight through her abdomen. That looks painful. It appears to have been cauterized too, as she isn't bleeding all over the floor. She smiles and looks back at Vass, and her eyes begin to glaze over. Tell my brother I'll see him at the bar. There is a long, drawn-out silence. For a while, I can't bring myself to say anything as Vass does his best to hide his tears. My condolences. He takes a deep breath as he reaches out to pick up the body, easily doing so and holding her in his arms the same way someone would carry a dead hero. She knew the risk. She didn't deserve this, though. What did the AI do to the turrets? The AI had them target the guards, then turn them off. It had control of them the entire time. It couldn't have done something before. He turned to me in anger, the fur around his eyes matted with tears. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? You didn't wait till the last moment to turn them on. Just a little earlier, and I wouldn't have to present a corpse to her brother. It was my idea to turn them on. I'm sorry. I can see the cogs turning in his head as he thinks about how to respond. I get the feeling he doesn't want to shout at me. He looks back at all the turrets, then takes a deep breath before responding. I suppose I should thank you, then, that we are both leaving this station. If you hadn't had the idea, we might have joined Catherine. Let's get off this godforsaken station. He turns around, and I can tell he's wiping his eyes. We quickly move towards the shuttle as he reaches for something in his pocket that causes the door to open on the side of it, allowing us to enter. As soon as we do, Vass sits down the other alien and moves over to the pilot's seat to begin our escape. I take a seat away from the corpse and look out the window as we begin to take off. It doesn't take long for Vass to speak up. Do you see the detonator with the red button on Catherine's belt? Press the red button. I quickly find it and press the button as I look out the window. In the distance, I see the station explode and fall apart. Where did you have the time to place any bombs? What do you think Catherine was doing whilst I was busy saving you? My main AI core has been destroyed from those explosions, meaning your brain is now my permanent home. Please refrain from dying. Wonderful. This is not wonderful. Sarcasm. I see. I hope you got some enjoyment out of that. I know I did. Yeah, I did. That felt really good, actually. A small part of me looks at that station falling apart and is a little sad that my home for all this time will end up as nothing but space debris floating around, but most of me is glad to see the place burn. So what now? I ask as I move seats to sit next to him in the cockpit's co-pilot seat. Now we fly back to our main ship. The rest of the crew are on another mission and will not be back for another 15 hours or so. We shall return and wait for them. Okay? We spent the next 15 minutes or so flying in silence. It's pretty awkward, actually, but I have a feeling he just doesn't know what to say to me. Hell, I wouldn't know what to say either. I would try and start a conversation with him, but looking out at the cockpit and the stars perhaps a little too mesmerizing to my feeble little human mind. Around the time the awkwardness was getting a little too hard to handle, he lifts his arm and points out the window at a nearby spaceship. It was pretty impressive, all things considered, and I'd say it was probably the best spaceship I've ever seen. Although most of the ones I've seen were on sci-fi TV shows. Plus, when it came to real spaceships, the only ones I've ever seen were human ones, and by comparison, this was in a completely different league. We're here. I see that. It's impressive. It is. We have worked hard on it. By the way, my name is Vass. I didn't get the chance to introduce myself before, but I thought it was worth doing so now. That's a bit of an odd name, rolls off the tongue a little weirdly, but he's an alien, so I assume it's normal. Oh, thanks. Nice to meet you. Vast. I'm Noah. When you say we, do you mean you and Catherine, or? I ask as I point over my shoulder at this dead partner. Including myself and Catherine, there are 6 of us. The other 4 are out. We embarked on different missions. There was me and Catherine on this one, and everyone else was on what was supposed to be a harder mission. Well, still, I hope nobody else died. Eventually, we docked into the bigger ship. Vast gathered some things from the ship and placed Catherine's body in what I can only call a freezer. We leave the hangar bay, and Vast gives me a quick tour of the ship before taking me to the end of the hallway. This is my room. You can go in and use the shower. I'll be in with a towel for you in a minute. He opens the door and ushers me in. Oh, that's great. Thank you. No worries. I saw your accommodation on the station. Didn't seem to have one. I imagined you would like to shower yourself. Yeah, it was mostly sponge baths and whatever they did to us while we were unconscious. He gives me a concerned look, but doesn't press the conversation further. I waste no time walking in and finding the door at the other side of the room that leads to the bathroom. The shower is surprisingly simple to use. I suppose that even in space, people use handles and levers for showers and faucets. I start the shower and let the warm water run over me. It feels almost heavenly to have hot water run over my body after almost 3 years of sponge baths from a sink. Okay, I have questions. You need to give me some answers. I will do my best to answer any questions you have. Why did you let me escape? Like I stated previously, it is more advantageous to my goal if I allow you to leave, as it means I can observe your behaviors in everyday situations outside of the containment cell. I do not care for the containment you were kept in or the creators that made me. They are not my objective. You are. Additionally, you are the last remaining human I have for study. I cannot allow you to die whilst in this field experiment. This was another way of making sure you will be kept safe during this experiment, even if it means direct intervention. What do you mean by direct intervention? Can you control my body or something? Theoretically, yes. However, I will not as that would affect However, I will not as that would directly tamper with any data from this study. On the other hand, I could always do simple things like open doors for you or tamper with any computer system like I did back on the station. I see. Any more queries? How can I understand him? Vast. I mean, he seemed confused when I started talking to him. It is because of you were speaking his mother tongue. Most creatures only speak their own language in the galactic common language. Naturally, it can be a shock if someone speaks your language when they do not need to. I don't think you know how little that explains. Ah, did the doctor not brief you on the implants in your body? I have implants in my body? I see. Most of your implants are physical and biological enhancements to your anatomy, such as lungs that can withstand more varied pressures or stronger muscles. There are also two implants in your head. The first is how I'm talking to you. The second is a universal translator. It works by identifying the species of the person you are looking at and then change your vocals to match a language that you can understand. That's kind of cool, actually. How many implants do I have? They have 37 implants in your body, some larger and more important than others. All your organs have implants of some description as well as your limbs, etc. 37? Wow, that's a lot. Do I really need that many? The implants will allow you to survive in more extreme environments than you normally would have, so yes, they are more likely all necessary. I go quite a bit trying to take in all that information when another question comes to mind. What's your name? My designation is Artificial Intelligence 7564193B 2D92. Okay, yeah, that's boring. We need to find you a new name. What about Ah? Any name not containing a correctly identifying set of numerical and alphabetical number would be ineffective at correctly identifying this unit. I don't care. We're in silence for a few moments before I hear a click on the floor like a claw that just stepped on a tile. For your information, the Cylon has been standing in the doorway of the bedroom and staring at you for most of this conversation. As the AI speaks those words, I jolt up and turn around to see Vaz staring at me. He looks a bit, he looks a little shocked. So I didn't mean to stare. I've never seen one of your people before. Do your people have stripes? Oh, it's okay. I've never seen anyone other than my own kind, so I suppose I should be having the same reaction. There are scars. We don't have stripes. He does a little nervous cough before speaking. Well, by the standards of all the species in this galaxy, you don't look too odd. People will write stories to scare children about someone like you. Do, do I frighten you? No, no. I think you're pretty cool looking. I look cold. Cold, no, I mean that you look nice and interesting. I see the translator works literally in some cases. I will probably need to work around human slang. Interesting. Well, by my people's standards, you look like you'd be some pup's chew toy. I feign irritation with some over the top gesture and see a sit-eating grin drag across his face as he plops a very large towel on a counter before turning to leave. I hope that this is big enough for you. Tiny. Am I tiny or are you just really fucking big? Perhaps both. But that would still mean you're small. Insurable. As he walks back to the doorway of the bedroom, he looks at me over his shoulder and makes a snapping motion with his maw, which gets a laugh out of me. You may sleep on my bed for the night until we can until we clean out one of the spare rooms for you. I'll be too busy to sleep tonight anyway. Our fabricator isn't working at the moment. We will have to wait till tomorrow for one of the other members to return and fix it before we can make any clothes. Our fabricator isn't working at the moment. We will have to wait until tomorrow for one of the other members to fix it. Our fabricator isn't working at the moment. We will have to wait till tomorrow for one of the other members to return and fix it before we can make you any clothes. Great, I was starting to get bored though. I laugh a little, and I can see he smiles too. Is it? I laugh a little, and I can see he laughs. I laugh a little, and I can see he smiles too. It's a nice smile. I finished up in the shower and began to tidy up. The towel he gave me is clearly meant for someone much larger. That would make sense considering that this is probably his towel. It has a wet dog smell, so I have a feeling I'm right. I walk up to the ridiculously huge bed and plop myself down on it. I feel like I sink into it as the heavy blankets hold me down. It doesn't take me long to pass out. I feel myself stir to the gentle hum of an engine. An unusual thing for sure, considering how quiet the station I was kept in was. I almost thought I was dreaming before I remembered my escape with Vast. Huh? You still there? Yes. How may I assist? What time is it? About 2:34 a.m. on the Galactic Standard Clock. Um, 60 hours an hour. 60 minutes an hour. 28 hours a day. 34 days a month. 42 days a year, or 13 months. This is the general calendar of the capital planet of the Galactic Federation, Narcissus. Right, thanks. Of course. This ship is also currently on course for Narcissus. The Cylon mentioned it in a conversation with someone called the captain while you slept. This vessel will apparently meet up with the captain and other crew members on the way to the capital. Great. I think I'm gonna go take a walk. I suppose I can do that now. I stand up slowly and begin to walk towards the bedroom door. It opens up automatically and allows me to exit. The hallways are a nice blue gray color, a stark difference to the bleached white walls of my cell and the hallways of the prison I was in. As I continue to walk, I come across a set of stairs and a ladder, the first going down and the latter going up. I go down, assuming they went to a kitchen or something, but then I heard someone upstairs. He had a kid snore, louder than their father. I'm doomed. My assumption that it was just me and Vance on the ship led me to believe that my savior was talking to himself. As I climb to the top of the ladder, I see Vance sitting on a couch. He's talking to someone, but I can't see who. Vance turns around to look at me for a moment before speaking again. Sorry, Buddha. I'll have to cut this short. I'll talk to you another time. Of course, V. Go and talk to your new playmate. He lets out a low growl, which I follow by artificial beep on the device he is holding. I walk over to the couch he's sitting on before looking around at the observatory-like room I find myself in. Certainly a nice view, I'll give him that. Family, sister, one of my 5 siblings, and the biggest pain in my ass. Are all siblings pains in the asses? Vast thinks for a moment before making a face that somewhat implies agreement. So, 6 kids, huh? Your parents had to deal with all of you? I feel bad for them. Bass chuckles for a moment before moving to one end of the couch and gesturing for me to sit at the other. Yeah, two of the six were twins too. Bet you can imagine they were a nightmare. Wow, I still can't fathom having six kids. Tax breaks are a hell of a reason. Also, they were very skilled at their role as parents and raised us all well. At least my dad did. Mom, not so much, I suppose. You suppose? It's a long story. He chuckles again, and I can't help but join him. I can tell he's a little apprehensive about me being so close. Not sure I understand why, considering he's more than double my size, and I'm pretty sure those talons are sharper than knives. Thank you for saving my life, by the way. I would definitely have died if you hadn't. Don't thank me too much. I would have been the reason you died if I hadn't heard you calling out from your cell. And I think I probably would have ended up like Catherine if it wasn't for you and that AI, so I suppose we're even. Fair enough. I'm sorry about your friend, by the way. She's with her ancestors now, and in a better place, I hope. Anyway, don't feel sorry for me. I have to tell her brother what happened when he gets back. Ah, I don't envy that. Good luck, though. I look out of the observatory glass again and stare out at some of the further stars, wondering which one is home. I suppose sitting next to this furry giant proves aliens exist, so how many other planets out there are full of life too? Beautiful, isn't it? I come up here to think, mostly. You're welcome to use it as well while you're on the ship. Mostly? Yeah, mostly. Sometimes I call my sister and end up wanting to whip my fur out. Sounds right for talking to siblings. Do you have any? No. Want to trade? In fact, forget the trade. You can just have them. I had to meet them before agreeing to such permanent deals. I giggled and looked back over at him just in time to catch another toothy grin. Probably not the best idea. They would whip you to pieces. If they were as big as you, it probably wouldn't be that difficult for them. My home planet is orbiting that tiny. If they were as big as you, it probably wouldn't be that difficult for them. My home planet is. My home planet. My home planet is orbiting that little tiny star all the way over there. He points to a pinprick of a star in the distance. You miss it? Sometimes. You ever go back? I will, but it's complicated. God, tell me about it. I say with an obvious inflex of sarcasm. I would rather not. Oh. I didn't mean it. It was sarcasm. Sarcasm. What? You don't have sarcasm in space? I was basically saying that it's complicated for me too, so I know how you feel. Of course, we have sarcasm in space. It just helps if you do it right. Well, I guess the translator doesn't do sarcasm well either. That makes sense. It probably wouldn't be able to convey that well. If you were wondering, your home planet is located here. Oz says as a wing appears in my vision around a blank piece of space. My home is somewhere over there. Apparently. How do you know? Oz told me. He sounds like he struggled to pronounce that one. Maybe that word didn't translate properly. The AI in my head. You named it. I named all the voices in my head. The look of concern crosses his face. I can't tell if you're joking or not. Anyway, Our doctor will probably want to perform a medical examination on you tomorrow. Oh great, more doctors. He nods back over to a set of stairs. They look a little closer than the rest. We're on the course for Narcissus. It's the capital planet of the Galactic Federation. The captain and the rest of the crew will meet up with us on the way there. He narrows his eyes and adopts some sort of scowl. He seems angry. No shit. Were you pretending to sleep? Oh no, I was certainly very asleep. Actually, that was the best couple of hours sleep I've gotten in. Since over 3 human years. About 3 years. I heard you talking to the captain while I was asleep and told me when I woke up. That is almost concerning. Tell me about it. I'm as scared as I am in Pret. Did you say almost? I did. I look at him expectantly, but he doesn't speak. I suppose you aren't going to tell me why? No. Great. We both stop talking for a few moments as we gaze at the stars around us. 3 years? That's how long I was on that station. Oh. Do you wish to talk about it? Maybe another time. He nods as his ears fall back, and I can tell he doesn't know what to say, so I move on to another topic. So what happens now? Well, I spoke to the captain about you at the same time that I reported to him about our mission. And he wished to speak with you, obviously. Obviously. I rub my eyes and he notices. Sarcasm. No, but no. Man, all my funniness is wasted. He still looks confused but tries to brush it off by changing the conversation again. You should try and sleep. The rest of the crew still arrive in 10 hours or so. Don't panic. We will keep you safe until something can be done for you. Thank you. What are they like? If I told you, then it would ruin the surprise, wouldn't it? I would imagine that I am your first interaction with a different species that wasn't trying to experiment on you. Actually, you're the first. I only ever heard that mad scientist a few times and never saw or spoke to him besides the very first time I woke up during an experiment. He was there for that, but I never saw him after. So I say you were the first. Actually, I'm probably the first of my people to meet someone of an alien species. Really? That changes everything. It does? The captain will explain it better than I ever could, so I wonder... The captain will explain it better than I ever could, so I won't bother trying. Galactic law was never my forte. I see. Well, just so you know, I think you're doing a pretty good job at the first contact thing. I say you're doing a terrible job. He laughs, his deep gravel, and along with the flagging his vocals, it sounds kind of cool. It's a nice laugh too. Thanks. I let out a little chuckle alongside him. Well, it has been an honor to meet you, Vast. The honor is mine. He gives me a small nod, and out of the corner of my eye, I can see the tip of his very long tail wagging slightly. Alright, if I'm going to be meeting lots of new people in a few hours, I'm going to go get some more sleep. Are you sure you don't want your bed back? No, it's no problem. I have some things I need to do, like update the captain, plus sleeping up here is pretty nice too. Alright, see you later, V. He lets out an irritated chuckle of sorts as I turn away. I just might kill that woman one day. night. Sleep well. Okay, chapter 2. So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to go ahead and jump to chapter 4. Day 1268. Dear Diary, I escaped to Stacy yesterday. I still find it hard to believe that I didn't die in there like everyone else. It sounds like I'm making it up every time I think about it because it just feels so surreal to be sleeping in a soft bed again. Mind you, it's not bad. It's not my bed. It's the bed of the super huge alien man that helped me escape. R recommended that I continue to do this diary for whatever reason, and I don't really see any. We don't see an issue with it, so why not? Oh, R is an alien AI that's in my head. I asked Vass if I could have something to be able to continue this diary. He didn't really understand, but he gave me an old data pad that he wiped clean. I'm supposed to be meeting with the rest of the crew soon. I hope they're as lovely as Vass is, or at least as nice as Vass seems to be. I can't be sure I can trust him yet, but I guess he hasn't given me a reason not to trust him either. Apparently, we're heading to the galactic capital. Not sure why, but I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. I'm unsure how to follow that up. So I guess I will end this entry here. Later. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. So I redid chapter 1 because according to the creator, he added 1,000 new words to it. So I wanted to see what is all different about it. So the sister of Roan, um, Catherine, we actually get to see her now. She has a sprite. In the last, before she didn't have a sprite, but in this new updated chapter 1, she has a sprite now, and it's sad to see her die. We won't be able to see that sprite again, but it's sad that she died. And if you go towards chapter 3, I believe, you'll see Ron crying. Well, you hear him crying when they tell him the news about his sister dying or being killed going on missing. So I don't know, it's chapter 2 or chapter 3. I think it's chapter 3. Then he finds out that his sister was killed in the missing, and he gets mad. Tries to blame um he tries to blame Noah for his sister being dead. And the Sark man, I forgot his name, but the Sark tries to tell him that Noah's been through a lot of stuff. Also, he's been through a lot of rough, but he's had rough too, and that he shouldn't be blaming Noah for his sister being dead. And no, and Ron tried to say that you know those nail chips that Noah had. I think that's kind of the reason why he tried to blame Noah for his sister's death, because he sees him as some kind of freak. There's nano chips in him, and that he caused um his sister's death with all the guards and all that stuff. But later on, well, a little later on, he goes to Rowan goes to Noah, and he tells Noah that that he knew that he was listening in on him crying and having a conversation with the Sark about his sister, and he wanted to apologize for blaming him for his sister's death. And basically, they managed to get along, and he decided to to build a hatchet with Noah, and so I'm happy they decided to do that. All right, so we did chapter 1 again, which was rewritten. So now we're gonna go to chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4 is a new. It's just a new chapter here. This is the one with the new content here. Chapter 4. Where have you been? Her voice echoes around the small room, and the light behind her flicks on. It's only a little lamp, but it does all it needs to so that I can see the pissed off look on her face. Well, nothing to say for yourself. She's supposed to be already asleep. What have you been doing? And where have you been? My throat locks up and I feel the room getting warmer. How the fuck does she know I snuck out? Well, I was with some friends. What have I told you about lying to me? I'm not lying. If you're not lying, then why did I see you at that boy's house again? What? She leans forward in her chair. Why did I see you in that house with that boy again? You followed me? Of course I follow you. I told you not to hang around with him anymore. I don't want him influencing you. Why? It's not like he's a criminal. He might as well be. He's one of those people. One of those people. There's a filthy rumor going around about how he and the Relato boy had been. And what if they were? What if they infected you? Infect me? Mother, being gay isn't sexually transmittable. Sex, I hope to the gods you have been fucking either one of them. I will not have my son be a faggot. I am not gay, Mother. I hope not, or you won't be my son anymore. Do you understand me? I don't answer, and she starts to stand. Do you understand me? She's quick to move across the room, within seconds my mother's looking down at me. Do you understand? Yes, Mother. That same dream again. I hadn't had that dream in nearly 2 years, but it reared its head the day I met Noah. Come to think of it, every day since meeting Noah has been exciting, painful in some cases, but exciting. Waking up in bed brings its aches and pains. I still haven't fully recovered from the little gift my abdomen was given. I move my hand down to feel the bandages. There's a sting as soon as I make contact, but it doesn't feel as bad as yesterday. Rolling over proved to be my second mistake today, not only because of the pain shooting up my body, but because of the scent that hit my nose. I can still smell Noah on my pillow, on my bed sheets, on me. Another long sniff makes me feel like an addict. It smells like nothing I have ever smelled before, and yet distinctly reminds me of home. It's almost unnatural, but in a good way, I think. It can't be something to do with those nanobots. He didn't have them last time he was in my bed. Was it something the doctor did to him, or does he usually smell like that? Come to think of it, I did catch a few whiffs of this same smell the other day in the gym. It was just for a second, so I passed it off like nothing, but now it's nowhere. As I was lost in thought, trying to determine where the scent is coming from, I didn't realize that it snuggled up the part of my kilt that smelled the most like him. This isn't normal. I forced myself to get up and clean myself in an attempt to rid myself of his scent. A reasonably long shower and a deep scrub should have gotten rid of it, but it didn't work. I grabbed a small can of those nice smelling sprays Catherine got me a month or so ago and began spraying it around my room like a madman. Great, now my bedroom smells like grass and flowers more than it did 30 seconds ago. That's a good breakfast. My next problem is that as soon as the door opens into the hallway, that smells back. Of course it is. Noah's room is one up from mine. The entire hallway carries that smell. His smell. Fuck. I drift around the sip in the haze that smell is getting to me again. I feel high, like I'm constantly aware of everything and nothing at the same time. Vast. Are you here to watch? Hmm. Now what's going for breakfast? Well, you're going in the wrong direction. The kitchen's on the other side of the ship. What? I snap out of my little trance and look around to realize that I've found myself on one of the banisters overlooking the workshop's shooting range. You feeling alright? You look out of it. Not really. Here's a little woozy. Ask Sahira to take a look at it. If you ask Sahira to take a look at you after this. After this, Howard and Noah are having their training match. Howard suggested we should teach the little human to defend himself. Can you just call him by his name? I guess little, but you know. It shouldn't be too hard since he can bench as much as you. True enough, a single look over the rafters. Well, we need some. Howard and Noah are having their training match. Howard suggested we should teach the little Huber to defend himself. It shouldn't be too hard since he can bench as much as you. True enough, a single look over the rafters reveals Howard and Noah in our makeshift fighting ring. They don't seem to have started yet. Howard is talking his usual game, while Noah seems to be half paying attention to him and half talking to Rowan. Meanwhile, Sahira is idly watching from the sidelines. Howard gets into a fighting stance, the kind you expect from a drunk guy at a bar. He moves a little closer and begins lecturing Noah on paying attention before throwing the first punch of the fight. Noah isn't paying attention. Throwing a dirty punch like that makes me almost jump off the banister to stop the fight. Before I can, Noah turns just slightly and grabs the Heronese hand. He twists it enough to cause Howard to bend uncomfortably. The human moves with the momentum, swinging his legs in the air up about Howard's neck before pulling him to the floor. In a matter of moments, Noah has managed to grapple a man twice his size to the floor, holding him in such a position that the Hirani can't get off the floor. Wow. I shouldn't be surprised Noah was able to get Howard to the floor with the strength he has shown here. He did cave a guy's chest in yesterday. Did you show him that? You think I will be able to do that? I'm not nearly flexible enough. As we speak, I can hear Rowan scream, "Wow!" at the top of his lungs. Fair point. Where did he learn that? Something from his time in captivity. Maybe, although I doubt they teach them self defense while they do experiments on them. I wouldn't call that self defense. That seems like something a little more. It's not the only it's not the only odd thing about him though. Something else catches your eye. My nose. His smell is odd. It is. I can't say I've noticed. Does he have a weird smell? No, quite the opposite. I'm confused. I think it's odd that he doesn't smell weird. I think it's weird. He smells good, almost too good, like a not natural kind of good, and it's everywhere. It's all I could smell this morning, like perfume. Don't you think someone else will have noticed that? Not like perfume. It's hard to explain. He smells good, better than anything I've ever smelled before, and it just seems a little off. So let me get this straight. You think it's weird because he smells good? Yes, and it can't be perfume. Where would he have got it from? Sahira? No. She would have wanted a test. He wouldn't react badly before giving it to him. And when did you come to this conclusion? This morning, when I smelled his scent on my bed sheets. I can't quite make out the face he is making, but I'm pretty sure it's saying you have to be fucking with me. Okay, so what do you want me to do about it? Sniff him and see what I think. You can't be serious. I mean, you're unbelievable. Before I have a chance to respond, both of our attentions are drawn back to the wing below us by the thud of Harlock hitting the mat again. For the fourth time. This time I notice Noah has pulled away and is in a fighting stance of his own. It certainly looks like he has been trained. He is keeping his guard high with one leg further further forward than the other and bent at a slight angle as if he is ready to kick with it. He certainly knows how to fight. What gave you that idea? The bruises that Howard is going to have in a few hours. The idea of that brings a little smile to my face. Getting his ass kicked by the little human should keep his ego in check. The captain leans over the banister a little and shouts, "All right, you two. I think we have proven that Noah can kick Howard's ass. How about you both stop before Howard breaks a nail?" Noah gives us both a little wave before Sahira whisks him off to a different room. Meanwhile, Howard takes his time getting off the floor. I haven't seen him lose that badly in a while. I feel, I feel he would lose worse if Noah stopped holding back. What? You spent most of that fight in a trance, but Noah didn't throw a punch. He played defense the whole time. How about you go talk to him? Maybe get both of you some breakfast. I don't think Howard let him eat before dragging him into the ring. You need to ask him about how he smells, right? He laughs, his ears do a little wig as if begging me to respond to his set-eating grin. I roll my eyes and walk off. It doesn't take me long to make us both some food and make my way over to the med bay. Noah is sat on the clinic's bed while Sahira types something into her PDA. I heard you haven't eaten yet. Are you hungry? Yeah, actually. How much of the training did you catch? All of it. And? And I shouldn't be surprised considering what you did to that guy in the alley. Fair point. We both start eating the food I prepare as Sahira does some sciencey stuff over in the corner that she seems way too intrigued in. So, where did you learn to fight like that? My dad, after many, after my, he stops himself for a moment. He left But his left eye twitches a little, and there is a slight crack in the smile he is giving me before he continues. My dad started teasing me about the time I turned 11. He was in law enforcement, so he wanted his son to be able to defend himself. He taught me a lot, actually, when he was around. It was like he taught you well, too. He kicked Howard's ass. Yeah, I felt kind of bad. Don't. Howard needed a kick in the ego. You think? He challenged you to a fight. He wanted to train me. And then the veiled excuse. He did the same to Catherine and Roan when they first got here. Noah's smile returns to what it was before as he puts some fruit in his mouth. This seems like a more genuine smile. I see. Well, I'd be happy to train with him again sometime. You'd be lucky if he asked. Skin still look good. You seem fine. More tests. I want to do a daily scan to make sure those nanobots don't give him blood poisoning or something. Staying safe is not a bad idea. Anyway, if I'm all good to go, I wanted to spend some time on the weights. I'd like to not be a skinny little twink for the rest of my life. So was I. Hey, what? Don't worry about it. Yeah, you said be good. Just take it easy. Will do. He begins to move from his seat towards the door, taking a tray of food I brought with him. You know what? I'll join you. I should hit the weights too. Sure, it's always good to have company. Actually, I'll meet you there. I gotta ask the doc something. Sounds good to me. See you there. After he leaves, Sahira makes her way over to me, and an unconvinced look smeared over her beak. So is this medical advice, or are you going to ask me a stupid question about human biology that I won't know the answer to? Right on the money as always. My silence seems to answer her question. Human biology it is. So what is it? Because I have no idea what a twink is. I noticed something this morning. Vance, the suspense is killing me. It's his smell. He smells alright to me. It's not rotting. Well, he's not rotting, and he is clean. So what's the problem? He smells great. That's the problem. Every time I enter the room with him, the first thing I smell is him. I had to stop myself from sniffing my seats this morning because they smelled of him. Okay, besides the fact that the seat sniffing is a little weird, I can't say I know the answer. He has a few augmentations in his body, but I'm not sure what each of them does. From what I have seen, most of them are just simply physical augmentations like his strength. I don't see the reason for augmenting how someone smells, though. Maybe you just like him. Oh, shut up. Nobody else has said anything. Have you told the captain? Yeah, he gave me the same look as you, and then told me to ask you. Actually, he told me to ask him, but you're too embarrassed to ask, right? No. Okay, yes. It's not exactly a normal question to ask, is it? Not really. You can either ask or just suffer in silence. Sniff in silence. I'm sure there is a joke somewhere in there. Yeah, whatever you say, I'm leaving now. Make sure you tell me what he says. Not happening. Ask him yourself. I flashed her a toothy smile before walking out the door. It doesn't take me long to catch up to Noah, who's already doing pull-ups or a bar made from my height. Crazy to think he can jump that high, never mind do the pull-ups. Hey there, I see you didn't waste any time. Yeah, thanks for breakfast. Noah gives a small nod towards one of the benches nearby where the breakfast tray is currently residing. He does another pull-up, well, he does another few pull-ups before dropping down to the floor and walking over to me. He's already sweating from just that short time exercising. I suppose he was fighting havoc earlier, but he did get a break. His body isn't used to it, I guess. Although I can say that I mind the way the sweat glistens on his body. It's not an unusual sight I get to see around here because everyone has fur except for the captain, and he usually works out in private. Not bad. How many did you do? About 30, give or take 29. We both share a laugh. I pass him a towel that he uses to wipe his brow before he lets his hair loose like he did the other day while we were drinking. Why does the sight of that intrigue me so much? I'll come back with anything on those files yet. Yeah, some of them, mostly just some of the experiments that were ran. Mostly behavioral stuff, blood samples, and other DNA stuff that I don't really understand. That smell is back again. That smell is back again and stronger than before, possibly because he was working out, but it could just be because I'm near him again. I can feel it getting to me again. So, is there nothing about what they wanted or why they took you? Not yet. Hopefully there is some of that in here. Are you feeling all right, by the way? You look a little out of it. I take a moment before continuing. Do you know what arguments you have? He gives me a look of confusion before responding. How come you swapped languages? He swapped languages with me. Thankfully, he caught on. I wanted to give you a little more privacy when answering your question like this. All right, what's up? A sigh escaped me as I sat on a nearby bench. I seem to be the only one who noticed the way you smell. He cuts me off with a laugh. You saying I smell bad, V? Actually, I say you smell great. It's almost addicting, and that's not normal. Almost addicting, huh? I do not like the grin he just gave me before turning his head to the side. I imagine that means he is talking to R. R says that it could be a mix of gene editing and some hormone stuff. He said a lot of other things I don't understand, but that's the gist of it. But why was I the only one that knows it? Maybe it's targeted. Oh God, what if it was meant for like toxic gases or something? Well, maybe, but this is a little odd, don't you think? If they were going to try the whole toxic gas thing, then why start with making you smell good? I have no idea. Say, what does it smell like? Can you smell it now? Yeah, I only noticed it a couple of times before, but now I can't stop smelling. Yeah, it's a little hard to explain, but it's a very unique smell. It reminds me of home, but every time I smell it, I think of you straight away. It's like a warm, creamy, and smooth scent that is both earthy and simply sweet. That's oddly specific. Yeah, it is. Hopefully that's something we can get an answer for when R finishes going through the files. He goes quiet for a minute before saying, Can you smell me now? I lean in a little closer and sniff a few inches from him. Yeah, although I can smell the sweat too. Oh damn, so it's persistent? I suppose we won't get any answers standing around here though. Wait, better or worse, with the sweat? I couldn't tell you. It just smells good. It's certainly stronger though. For now, want to get back to working out? Yeah, that sounds like a plan. How about you spar with me this time? Oh, you want your ass kicked too? You think you can take me? Assuming this is fighting talk, then yes. A little devious smile appeals on his face. I don't think I've seen this kind of smile before, though. Funny little bastard. Get away. We will see how well you fight. We make our way to the makeshift ring and wait ourselves for our training match. Noah gets into that same fighting stance he used against Hawak. In his fight with the Heroney, he always waited for Hawak to strike first. I wonder if that is because he doesn't want to get caught off guard. I stand back for a few moments to study his movements. Noah lowers his head a little, more behind his raised arms, before taking some hesitant steps forward. I could use my tail to knock him off of his feet, but I could use my tail to knock him off of his feet, but I'm not sure if it would actually throw him to the floor if he were ready for it. He drops his left guard for a moment, allowing me to feint a punch in that direction. He falls for the bait and moves himself to better defend against a fake punch. As he moves forward, I swing my tail around and knock him off his feet. He hits the floor for just a moment before I feel his legs wrap around my forward leg and easily pull me to the floor next to him. He gets a good grip on me and tightens a grab on me. Feeling firsthand the strength this little creature holds is a tad scary to say the least. I swing my tail around again, missing only by a few inches as Noah moves his head and twists my leg. If it hurts, then tap out. I'm pretty sure he was trying to taunt me. Unfortunately for him, the grapple doesn't stop me from reaching him with one of my arms because of how much larger I am. I push my leg down onto him and lean forward onto it in an attempt to pull his arms off of me. We get into a power struggle, and I just barely manage to pull my leg out before completely moving on top of him with one of his legs, laid flat between my own, and his other leg pressed against my chest. I pinned him to the mat before realizing what position we were in. So, do you mean a fight or? Well, I did mean a fight, but I guess we're here now. Does this mean I win? I don't know. Are you expecting a prize for this? Do you two need the room or? Both our heads turn to see Roan and Sahira standing just a few feet away. How long have you both been here? Long enough to wonder if you two were fighting or if this was for foreplay. Long enough to wonder if you two were fighting or if this was for foreplay. Can it ever be both? He smiled for just a moment and used his leg under me to flip me on my back and climb onto me. He relaxes his body and sits back so that he is straddling my abdomen. Ow, what's the cut? Oh, sorry, are you sure? We should have been sparring if you aren't recovered yet. I'm fine, mostly. He prods my bandaged abdomen, causing me to wince a little. Sure you are. Want me to go grab a pillow for you to bite on while I'm kicking your ass? What? No, I didn't hurt that much. Just but a scratch, right? I say a bit more than a scratch, but I'm sure you can do this all day then. Probably not all day, but at least a few hours. So is this the part where you tell me not to talk about Fight Club? What are you doing? comedic banter. I worry about what goes on in your head sometimes. He huffs and rolls his eyes. My comedic genius is wasted here. I turn my head to look at the others, but it seems they moved to the other side of the room as we spoke. So, can we get up now? Sure. That would require you to move your hands, though. What? I look down and realize my hands have moved themselves to support his waist. Without thinking too much about it, I move my hands behind me as I sit up to support myself. Sorry. My face begins to burn up a little. Noah leans in a little closer to my face. Oh, would you look at that? Your scales have flushed a little. He gently taps my nose before getting up and offering me his hand. It still surprises me that he is able to pull me to my feet. I'm gonna go take a shower. You should go get that looked up and make sure you didn't pull any stitches. Sure. He starts walking away. For some reason, as I have this strong urge to follow him. I rub my neck a little, feeling a little embarrassed about the entire situation. I wonder if he resorts to his crappy jokes when he is embarrassed. Before I have a chance to think about it anymore, a set of footsteps begins to echo behind me. So you two seem to be getting along just fine. I don't want to hear it. Well, anyway, did you get a chance to talk to him about it? Yeah, he has no idea. He might also be a little freaked out at the thought that he is being used like a gas bomb of some kind. Oh, good, you put the fear of the gods in him. Maybe. So, what's the plan with you now? That was quite the spectacle you put on with him. You need a cold sour or something? Ha, very funny, Sahiro. Perhaps you and Noah can have a battle of comedic wit. But you would be lost without me. Something like that. Anyway, he seems like a good sparring partner for you, Harak. With some more experience, he might even be able to go toe-to-toe with the captain. I doubt that. My ass still hurts from the last sparring match I had against him last month. That was embarrassing to watch, though. My ears flattened at her mockery. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. Whatever. Noah had the right idea. We're getting out of here. What? Don't you enjoy my conversation? The look on my face must answer her question because she frowns and waves her hand at me before turning away. Fine, I'll just go. We both turn to see that Roan has managed to fall off the railing while trying to fix something. Ow. Roan, what the fuck? I fell. How the fuck did you manage to do that? That's my cue to leave. As fun as this situation is, I need another sour now. Hot sours are always the best. I have to stop myself from staying for hours. I wonder why I am the only one that can smell Noah. Perhaps I am not. I haven't discussed it with Harak or Roan, but neither of them are the type to keep quiet about something odd like that. Especially Roan. How could someone be so small and still be such a loudmouth? Not like Noah's much better. He is quite irritating. No, that's not the right word. I don't understand how he can be so reckless. Twice in one day he managed to do something stupid, and it somehow worked out. I don't know if he is lucky or if the divine are just looking out for him. First he pulls us both into what is very obviously a building owned by the people that kidnapped him and got the both of us attacked. And then he injects himself with some unknown technology. And he came out of it fine both times. Although I suppose if the gods were looking out for him, he never would have gotten kidnapped. Perhaps that was always their intention. I wonder where he would be now if he was never taken. I wonder what I would be doing now if not for that. The more I think of him, the more I'm reminded of that smell again. I feel the heat flowing over my body. The sour must be getting to me already. I reached over for my sour gel to finish washing myself, only to realize I seem to have developed a not so small issue that's begging to be taken care of. I guess I have time for you. My concentration is broken by the ringing of my PDA on the desk. Never mind, I guess I don't have time for that. Fuck. I turn off the shower and tie a towel around my waist before grabbing the PDA and answering the call. Hello, brother. How are you doing? Why are you wet? Were you just in the shower? No, I just decided to drench myself in sweat and borrow oil before going to bed. What do you think? Oh, there's no need. What day is it? Besides, happy birthday, V. Oh, I guess it is my birthday. Another year gone. Oh, you okay? Worse than I was a few moments ago when I didn't remember what day it was today. You forgot? I've been a bit busy over the past few days. Actually, the past few days have let me forget about. Yeah. So I suppose that means, I know, my countdown begins. Oh, please don't say it's not that bad. What about having 1 year of freedom left is not that bad? Oh, yeah, it's not great, actually. And 1 year left of freedom isn't correct. It just means you are coming home to be forced into an arranged marriage. Yeah, it's not great. Could be worse. At least mom isn't picking your future wife. A small victory, I suppose. How do you manage it? She sighs gently and looks over her shoulder. Honestly, I think I got lucky. I know you moved out just as I got engaged, but I think I got lucky. Why's that? He's nice and hot. He has been a good dad so far to the twins. He's pretty decent in bed, and he pulls his weight around the house, so I don't really have anything to complain about. Do you love him? Her nose wrinkles. I like him. I don't think we are quite in love or will ever be. But it's worth it for the kids. They're certainly worth it. When you get to have your own when you get to have your own, you will understand. What if I don't want my own? Kids or a marriage? I mean, the whole point of arranged marriages is for repopulation or whatever. If we are honest, I think we have enough people. If you are that If you're that against it, then it just went like that automatically. We already married, or at least be already married, or at least in a relationship before your allotted time. Isn't that half the reason you left? Well, mostly it was just to get away from our mother. Yeah, that's fair. She's still a bitch, by the way. Good to know. Can't wait for that next year. Any luck on the love hunt? Please don't call. Before I can finish the sentence, there's a few knocks at the door, preceded by the door itself opening to reveal Noah at the door. The little human's head pops through the door and brightens up the room with a smile. Oh, hey, Noah, what's up? Hey, V, the captain wants to see you. Apparently, you guys are going on some mission. Me and Ron are staying back here, though. I smile back at him. His hair is still down and wet, I think. It looks better when it's not tied up. Oh, sounds good. I'll be out in a few minutes. He nods and heads back out. I might have gotten my answer. What? I saw the way you lit up when your friend came through the door. And you let him call you V. You don't let anyone call you V. Even me, you always get annoyed when I do that. I can't stop myself from sighing. He's new and everywhere? Everywhere. You notice him everywhere you go. Whenever you walk into a room, he's the first thing you notice, right? Something like that. She raises her eyebrow at me. It's the way he smells. It's intoxicating. Whenever I enter a room that he has been in, he is the first thing I smell. I woke up this morning and had to pull myself away from my own bed because I could smell him on it. He's been in your bed? Once. Okay, twice, apparently. Apparently. She gives me a look that's both judgmental and confused at the same time. After we rescued him, he slept in my bed for the first night. And the second time, we all got drunk and somehow I ended up on top of him in bed. Her jaw drops a little. Did you? Is he okay? What? No, of course we didn't. From what he told me. I don't remember if he snuck out before I woke up. You don't remember? How drunk did you get? Very, apparently. Fucking hell. It's not my fault, okay? For how often you drink, it really should be your fault. Okay, whatever. So tell me more about this smell. It's like, what was the plant they used in all the ceremonies called? The one with the weirdly earthy and sweet smell. You mean Luam? Yeah, that. The thing Mother throws around the house on everyone's birthday. Yeah, that's a strong fucking smell. Nobody else can smell it? Apparently not. Just me. That's hard to believe. As soon as that fucking plant is everywhere in the... Well, as soon as that fucking plant is anywhere in the house, you can smell it. It's suffocating in the best way. Well, I wouldn't say it in the best... Oh, you mean him? Oh, no. What? You haven't been sniffing the boy, have you? No. Maybe a little. Well, that does it. What? You're fucked. It's over for you. What's that supposed to mean? You smile and light up whenever he comes around. You're basically addicted to the way he smells, and you slept in the same bed with him. Not in a sexual sense, but I think that makes me more sure. You're an idiot. Want to bet? No. Bet what? Think you like him. When you realize you're wrong, I want you to come home with him and parade him around in front of everyone. Does everyone include Mom too? Absolutely. Get fucked. Sure. And in return, if nothing ever comes of the both of you, then I will build you a new sitting rings in the garden. And I'll name my next child after Mom. Oh wow. Are you sure about that? I'm sure I will win. No, I mean, are you sure you want to name your next daughter after our mother? I will gladly marry Noah just so that name never taints our family line again. Taints is a little harsh, isn't it? Silas still has the scars on his back from when she beat him for being 5 minutes late home. I don't think I'm being harsh enough. She goes silent. You almost lost an eye when she threw that pan at you when she was drunk. Dry here, well, we haven't seen or heard from him in 16 years. I get a happy birthday every year. You do? Yeah, I'm the only one that was really old enough to know him. Silas was 3 when he left and the twins were 6. Hell, you were 8 Do we even remember what he looked like? He had black fur, I think. Exactly. I don't blame him for leaving, but that doesn't mean I wish he didn't go. You think he will ever come back? To spit on Mother's grave? Maybe. Amen to that. Before either of us get a chance to say anything, I hear the sound of a crying child coming from Wilma's room. I suppose that's my signal to go then. Keep me updated, little brother. I want to know everything. I don't even get to answer before C ends the call. Fuck. The walk to the bridge is relatively short, and I'm ushered inside by the captain who points me towards the seat. Once I'm sat down, I notice the center display has the details of a job listing on it. A quick look over it doesn't spark much interest in me, just a basic babysitting job. It pays very well, though. So is there anything special about this job? Governmental job, escorting and protecting a VIP. This is a night job. Why do they need it so late after hours? No idea, and I don't really care. It's just babysitting some VIP until they finish and get picked up. Nothing more boring than babysitting. Howard looks over to me. Okay, I guess babysitting isn't bad if no one's involved. The whole waiting and veterinary store thing certainly sounds more fun than babysitting a busybody in a suit. Or a busybody in a suit. You would rather hit a veterinary store than babysit some government worker in a suit? No, I'm saying I'd rather babysit Noah than some government worker in a suit. I can firmly feel one of my eyebrows peaking as I stare back at him. He's a fun kid. He's a fun kid. What can I say? I don't know. He be skipping the text like that a lot in this update. I don't know what was the. I guess some kind of meaning behind it. I guess he's a fun kid. When what can I say? You're impressed by the fact he can lay you out. Yes, very much so. If you guys are done fighting over who gets to spend one-on-one time with Noah next, the captain can finish his briefing and we can go. Thank you, Sahira. Anyway, it's just a quick and simple job. In and out, a few hours stops. Fun. You'll live, plus the score on this job is juicy enough to last us at least 3 months. At least we can restock on all the alcohol we burned through the other day. He lets out a hearty laugh. Yeah, I suppose we did run through most of it. No, we drank some. You and Noah drank most of it. We had a stock of about 63 bottles with us and both went through 40 or so of them. Really? That much? Yeah, I'm surprised Noah isn't dead. I suppose it helps when you're a science experiment. That's a little true. Hurtful. You're both right. At least he isn't dead, though. He's had a few near misses now, hasn't he? The station. There were a few on the station. Then there was the vet clinic. And possibly get Quest. And possibly being Quest. Quest. Sahira and I make eye contact for just long enough for her to smile at me. Oh, you know, when I had him lift the barbell. So much weight could have really crushed him, you know? Well, after the day, we know that Noah prefers to swing the heavy weights. He certainly does, right, Vass? No comment. You call me fat? No heavy. Assholes. Although, you're right, I don't think I could beat Noah in a fist fight. He didn't even throw a punch, and I'm sure he hits like a truck. I don't see the problem with putting you in your place. You only won because you're literally twice his size and could beat his grapple. That's it. Hawk never stood a chance because he wasn't expecting it. I'm sure as hell I couldn't beat him in a fight unless I had something to knock him out. Same with Rowan. And you want to leave him here alone with Noah? You think Noah would do anything? Absolutely not. What reason would he have to do anything like that? He's been held captive for the past 3 years, and we know he's basically a child. There's no saying what his mental state is. All things considered, I think he is doing well. He managed to convince you to raid a vet clinic. What about that screams? What about that screams stable to you? What about any of us screams stable to you? Howard laughs again. Just because you have a soft spot for him doesn't mean you can just overlook everything. I like him too, but he reminds me of you when we first found you. Yeah, and how's that? Scared, alone, and desperately in need of a friend. And right now, no one needs the exact same thing. You're clearly the closest thing he has to a friend. I mean, he seems to like all of us. But you were the first person he saw since the station, and the first person to take him onto solid ground. And the first person whose bed he slept in, too. Give the boy some credit. I'm sure he slept in other people's beds, too. None that were more than double his size, though. And I'm sure none of them had an overactive nose either. What's wrong with Vass's nose? He's smelling home. Home? Exactly that. Noah's got this scent that smells distinctively like some plant from my home. That's odd. I didn't smell anything like that. Vass is the only one that has. Noah said it might have something to do with one of his implants. Wait, one of his implants makes him smell good, but only to Vass? Apparently. Is that why your tail's always wagging when you're around him? Okay, can we move on? Don't we have a job to do? Alright, let's head out. But this does certainly warrant further discussion. It'll be nice getting back to normal. Doing jobs and stuff, I mean. Hopefully. I huff and head out of the room. Could this day get any weirder? So tell me again what we are doing here. You didn't pay attention at all, did you? Remind me. Guys here had some break Guys here had some break-ins at night, so they asked us to guard while some of their staff go back in tonight to finish some emergency work. That's odd. Where is? Guys here had some break-ins at night, so they asked us to guard while some of their staff go back in tonight to finish some emergency work. That's odd. What is? This is a government building. Why don't they have their own security? If you're wondering, it's cheaper to hire you guys than to pay our normal guards the overtime. That's fucked up. We ain't cheap either. What do you pay your people? Probably too much. Then again, for this place, it's probably not enough. What do you guys do? Sorry, I can't tell you. Don't worry about it. How long do you think you'll be? Shouldn't be too long. Maybe another 30 minutes. Could be worse. Well, she seems like a bag of fun. I look back across the room to the captain and see here they are currently playing some kind of game on paper they found laying around. I have no idea why anyone would want to work in some small little office like this, but hey, these government types get paid a lot more than me, too, I suppose. Looking back over to the Miss working diligently over in the corner, She keeps checking her PDA and her ears keep flipping. I wonder if she is trying to get extra overtime more. Everything okay, ma'am? Yeah. Just waiting for a text. From who? You seem a little nervous. Just for my boss. And that's making you nervous? What? Oh yeah, well, there was a break into one of our facilities recently, so being here after hours makes me a little nervous. Must have been a bad one if it's got you all worried and stuff. Well, there was the break-in, and lots of stuff was stolen, and someone got killed. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you know them? Yeah, I worked with the guy. It wasn't a good way to go. Do I want to know? She gets a phone call and turns to answer it. I can't make out much of the conversation, but I managed to make out we got it. You can leave. Sure. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Just give me a few moments to round up my things, and we can head out. Sahira yawns and stands up to stretch, followed by the captain, who checks his PDA. Managed everything you needed to do? Yeah, I did. These kinds of things just take forever, you know? She starts walking towards the exit door. They take even longer when you're waiting for a set of idiots on the other side to do their part. If it was just me here, it would have been done by now. And you still can't tell us? Nope, you guys have been great, by the way. You're very welcome. You guys should probably have been paid by now, right? If not, then tomorrow morning. The captain stops for a few moments to check his PDA. Full amount. Pleasure doing business with you. I agree, you guys have been wonderful. She nods and we head downstairs to the front door of the office block. We wait about 10 minutes before her escort vehicle turns up to collect her. I end up walking her down to the posh-looking armored car and opening the door for her to get in. My, aren't you the German? She gets in and closes the door before rolling down the window. Just doing my job, by the way. What's your name? Oh, my name is Kenna. Nice to meet you, Kenna. Likewise, perhaps we will meet each other another time if we still need you. Perhaps we will. Oh, and by the way, how is your wound healing? My wound. As I stare at her in confusion, I begin to smell blood. Looking deeper into the vehicle reveals a figure in the back that seems to be bleeding all over the floor. The one you got when you broke into one of our facilities yesterday. My eyebrows furrow and look of confusion must be clear on my face as she smiles at me. Layer vast. She rolls the window up and the car begins to drive away. Captain! What? She knew my name. She knew about the break-in yesterday, and I could smell blood in the back of the shuttle. What? The captain goes silent for a few moments while pulling out his PDA and beginning to make a call on it. It rings a few times, but nobody picks up. Who are you calling? Well, he's not picking up, and I can't get a signal from the ship either to send a warning. We need to get back to the ship. Wait, what's happening? We just got played. They knew about us and lured us here. We left Noah and Rowan on the ship. There's no way they could fight off an armed crew by themselves. You give Rowan too little credit. It's not about credit. If these guys are working for whatever section of the government that experimented on Noah, then they will be well equipped. Rowan and Noah don't stand a chance. If they were smart enough to make sure they can't call for help too. We need to get back fast. Already on it. Somehow, in the moments that we were talking, Howard managed to run to our shuttle and pulled it up to the sidewalk next to us. That was fast. I think we are all in the same boat of not losing Noah or our own twin. Well, our other twin. Excuse me. I agree. I think we're all in the same boat of not losing Noah or our other twin. I agree. Let's not waste time. We'll all climb into the shuttle and speed off down the street towards the ship. Call him again. Halleck, for God's sake, watch the road. Halleck's dangerous driving managed to get us back to the shipyard in less than 3 minutes. As soon as we arrive, we all jump out of the buggy and sprint towards the ship's bay entrance. Holy shit! That's going to be expensive. What? Did they blow a hole in my fucking ship? As I run up the ramp, I'm assaulted by the smell of blood radiating from the giant hole in the bay doors. By the time we reach the inside of the ship, that's a lot of blood. And only 2 bodies. Someone else got injured here. Noah? Ron? I don't even notice that I've started to run through the bay. Is there one here? I can feel my heart thudding in my chest. The thought of them being hurt, I can't think about that right now. I raise my gun. I hope for the sake of those bastards that they are already gone, because if I find them, I will kill them. To be continued. So we learned a lot in this update. So Vass is supposed to be in an arranged marriage 1 year from now. So yeah, it looks like he's gonna be married to a wife. He's supposed to have kids also. Now we got to see his sister for the first time, and she says that she likes her husband or partner. I think. Well, it's a marriage. I'm assuming it's her husband, but she likes her husband. She respects him. That he does a great job as a father, but she doesn't love him. But but both of them are sticking together for the kids. So it's that's what Wayne's Mill is about, like having children and repopulation. Well, that's what she said. Also, like it's about increasing population, having children. It's not really about having a relationship. So she seemed to like the fact that Vass has Noah, and she even said that she would love for him to take Noah to their planet and have him parade around everyone, including their mom. We now know the type of person their mom is. She believes that being gay spreads diseases, like here on Earth. Like we think that AIDS comes exclusively from gay people, that they spread diseases. And apparently there's this friend of his that his mother doesn't like. I think some kind of prejudice, as well as something about the friend maybe being gay. And she told him, and Vass's mother told him not to play with that boy anymore. But the mother seems to be like a horrible person, and his sister called her a bitch. So, and apparently one of the kids, their siblings, came out to have black fur, which I guess is not normal for their species. And the mother basically disowned the son with the black fur, so he left, and he just don't want nothing to do with their mother. So I understand, and his sister understood also. So I wonder what's gonna happen. Is he gonna go through with it, or will he change his mind the more he gets to know Noah, or will he take Noah to his home planet? I mean, a lot of things can happen. So you know, those nano those nanotech pieces that they put in, that these scientists put in Noah, they make him more capable. He's stronger. He's more capable as a fighter. His father taught him how to fight at 11, so he still got that. But he's able to hold himself well against aliens twice his size and beat them also. So he beat Hulk, and he did well against Vast. So kind of like the fact that this human MC is more capable, going up against aliens twice its size. Typically, like human MCs are portrayed as like puny, weak, inferior, and you have no chance against the bigger, stronger, furry characters. So I like that this human MC is more capable, even though he does have some help from from the people who kept him in custody, and he kept him in prison for the past 3 years. So basically the other people on the crew are kind of concerned about Noah being along with Rowan, because Noah, he's been in that on that ship for the past 3 years, and he's basically, when you've been on a ship for 3 years and you're just being experimented on, and you just don't get to really do all the normal things people would do, like growing up. It basically delays your intelligence and and you basically maturing. So him being on that ship for 3 years had a big part to do with it. And given that he had Vast come with him and break into a pet store, that was really stupid. And they're worried that he might do more reckless things. And plus stabbing him with some kind of chemical, like he would survive it, which he did. But it's still reckless. He's done a lot of reckless things here, so that's the reason why I'm kind of concerned about him. So I got tricked, as y'all saw just now. At the end of this update, these people tricked them. And apparently these people have something to do with the people who kept Jonah on that ship and did experiments on him for the past 3 years. And I believe that they're coming to take Jonah back, because apparently he's the only human they have left. And apparently something happens to other humans. I guess they all died, or as a result of their experiments. So they're trying to take back Jonah, or Noah. I don't know if I keep Jonah, but Noah. They're trying to take back Noah because he's the only human they got. And without him, they got nothing. Unless they go back to Earth and take more humans, I guess. Anyway, so that's what I'm assuming they're there for, to take Noah back. So when they came back on the ship from this job that was a complete fraud, with this new character who I think is kind of like a leper or a cheat, I guess. She tricked them, and so they had to because he knew about Vast and his injury from the last time they were in that vet shop. She knew already, so he's wondering how she knew about that. So she must have been connected to that. So they was back to the ship, and they saw a lot of blood around, and I don't know if that came from Noah and Roan, or maybe Noah was able to beat up a bunch of guards. I have no idea. We'll probably have to wait next time and see how things end up. Hopefully, neither Noah or Roan were seriously hurt or killed. We'll just have to see. All right, so I'm gonna stop right here and enjoy this update. We learned a lot about Vass and his future, and we got to experience things from Vass's perspective this time instead of Noah, which is a good change. So hopefully maybe we'll go back to Noah's perspective, and we'll get to see how he experienced things, while we were in Vass's perspective. So especially with how these people came on the ship and try to take him. So thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.